కంప్యూటర్ పెట్టినాను
సార్ మీది ఇది ఒకసారి చేయండి, రికార్డింగ్ చేయండి సార్ మీరు.
స్టార్ట్ చేశాను రికార్డింగ్.
ఓకే సార్.
క్యారీ అండి, సిస్టమ్ లో పెట్టినాను రికార్డింగ్.
ఓకే
రైట్.
Can you all of you mute yourself because a lot of disturbance is coming.
నేను అందరిని మ్యూట్ చేస్తాను, మీరు మళ్ళీ మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి.
ఓకే సార్. Still same problem.
మేడం మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి.
Can you able to see the screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, madam.
So this is trans. Okay, sir. Okay, I'll continue, sir. But
it is clear.
Okay, sir.
కాకపోతే మీరు ఒకటి మేడం
స్లైడ్ షో
మోడ్ పెట్టండి.
అదే సార్, స్లైడ్ షో మోడ్ ఎందుకో రావట్లేదు సార్. అసలు నిన్న కూడా అదే ప్రాబ్లం అయింది.
మేడం మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి. అందరినీ అన్మ్యూట్ ఆప్షన్ తీసేసినాం మిగతా వాళ్ళకి. ఓన్లీ హోస్ట్ యూ కెన్ అన్మ్యూట్.
సో దిస్ ఈస్ సార్ స్లైడ్ షో ఆప్షన్ నాకు రావట్లేదు సార్, నిజంగా రావట్లేదు. నార్మల్గా అయితే చాలా వస్తుంది, కానీ ఎందుకో ఇది మినిమైజ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. నాకు కొంచెం మౌస్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉందేమో. స్లైడ్ షో ఆప్షన్ రావట్లేదు. Shall I continue like this, sir?
స్లైడ్ షేర్ అయితే స్క్రీన్ నిండా ఉంటుంది మేడం.
అదే
కింద ఉంది చూడండి, మీకు కనిపిస్తుందా?
అదే సార్, అది కింద అది కనిపించట్లేదు సార్, అదే ప్రాబ్లం. అది
బాటమ్ లో 70% పక్కన ఉంది చూడండి, బాటమ్ లో రైట్ సైడ్. మీ కర్సర్ ఉన్న దాని పక్కనే.
అది నాకు మినిమైజ్ అవ్వట్లేదు సార్. అక్కడ కర్సర్ ఉంది, కాకపోతే నాకు ఈ జూమ్ ప్యానెల్ కనిపిస్తుంది సార్. జూమ్ ప్యానెల్ అది నాకు మినిమైజ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. నిన్న కూడా నాకు అదే ప్రాబ్లం అయింది.
పిల్లలు కొంచెం ఎన్లార్జ్ చేసుకొని చూడండి.
పైన స్లైడ్ షో క్లిక్ చేయట్లేదా, సెలెక్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదా? పైన ఉంటుంది టాప్ బార్, అక్కడ అది క్లిక్ చేయండి. ఫ్రమ్ బిగినింగ్ ఆర్ కరెంట్ స్లైడ్?
yes sir, from current slide. Yes sir. Thank you sir.
Now it's okay. Right.
Okay madam. Okay, వస్తుంది మేడం.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
Okay, carry on madam.
Okay sir. So let us see the preparations of alkenes. So as I said, all the alkenes we can prepare by elimination reactions. Okay. So here the first preparation from the alcohols. So this is alcohol. Alcohols are by reaction with the any concentrated acids like sulfuric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid in the presence of temperature. Then this complete 1 mole of group is going to eliminate. Okay, how this mechanism no need to practice as entrance point of view. Generally the mechanism is here acid which liberates the H plus ion. That H plus ion will be taken by this OH, then which will get the OH2 plus. So this bonding electrons will be taken by this oxygen, then simultaneously this bonded electrons will given to here. Like that, this complete group will be eliminating as water molecule. And here if you observe here, removing the 2 sigma bonds and formation of 1 new pi bond. Okay, that is called as elimination reaction. Okay, this is the first preparation of alkene. So we are preparing from the alcohols in the presence of acids and in the presence of temperature. By removing this 1 mole of water molecule, we are going to get the alkenes. Now, what is this E2 mechanism? If you observe this mechanism, these groups are going to eliminate as E2 mechanism. E2 mechanism is nothing but I think you may familiar with SN1, SN2. SN1 is nothing but it takes in the 2 steps. Yes, substitution reaction. SN1 is the substitution reaction. SN2, which takes place in the same step, single step. Okay, there is no 2 steps. There is only SN2 takes place only the single step. Similarly, for the elimination reaction, E1 step, E1 reaction as well as E2 reaction. E1 is nothing but E for elimination. E1 reaction which takes place in the 2 steps, whereas E2 reaction which takes place in the only 1 step. So here E2 mechanism generally which will takes place in the any primary compounds. So because here as our reactant is alcohol, so here this E2 mechanism will be takes place in the primary alcohols. Okay, that means here there is no intermediate will be formed. By single step, both the groups will be eliminated, then which produce the alkenes. Okay, then what is a E1 mechanism? E1, suppose if the reactant is either tertiary alcohols or maybe the secondary alcohols. If the reactants are secondary or tertiary alcohols, then the reaction takes place through the E1 mechanism. So in the E1 mechanism, the intermediates will be formed. Intermediates will be formed, and those intermediates are the stable carbocations. Those intermediates are stable carbocations. As we all know, all the carbocations, tertiary carbocation is more stable, then secondary, then primary. Yes, so primary carbocation is the least stable, hence which involves in a E2 mechanism. Primary alcohols which involves in a E2 mechanism, whereas secondary tertiary alcohols because which can form the stable carbocation, hence which involves in a E1 mechanism. Okay, clear? E1 mechanism means which involves in a 2 steps, whereas E2 mechanism which involves in a only single step. E for elimination. Next, another reaction for the preparation of alkene, that is dehydrohalogenation. Dehydrohalogenation. See here, this is the halogen, this is the hydrogen. So this halo compound, by reacting with the alcoholic KOH, See, generally in the organic chemistry, 2 types of the reagents are present. One is aqueous KOH, another one is alcoholic KOH. Okay, aqueous KOH generally which help to add the reagent, aqueous KOH, whereas alcoholic KOH which help to remove the reagent, which help to remove any compound. Okay, so here we have to remove these groups, hence we used here alcoholic KOH. Okay, so this haloalkane, by reacting with the alcoholic KOH in the presence of heat, so from here H plus, from here X minus will be removed, then which produce the alkane, Suppose if any unsymmetrical halo compounds are present, if any unsymmetrical, see for example here, this is the halogen, okay, this is the haloalkane, this is the halogen. So from here halogen, by reacting with the alcoholic KOH, it's a dehydrohalogenating reagent, and from here H plus, from here X minus, both will be eliminated and producing the alkene. See, this halogen attached to carbon is called as alpha carbon. Then neighboring carbon protons, neighboring carbons are called as beta carbons. Neighboring carbons are called as beta carbons. Suppose if any this is all the E1 mechanism, E2 mechanism. Yes. Suppose See, this is a halogen. This is the attached carbon. This carbon is called as alpha carbon. Then the neighboring carbons are called as beta carbons. Neighboring carbons are called as beta carbons. Now, here two possibilities are present. See, this carbon hydrogen may remove or this carbon hydrogen may remove because both are the adjacent carbon protons only. Now, which product will be formed? Whether this proton will be removed or this proton will be removed. Yes, that can be explained by the Sage-Jeffs rule. That can be explained by the Sage-Jeffs rule. So according to the Sage-Jeffs rule, when there is a possibility of two products, then highly substituted olefin will be formed as major product. Highly substituted olefin will be formed as major product. Because here, that means from here bromine, this is the alpha carbon. Now this is the beta carbon. From this carbon, proton will be eliminated. Then we will get this 2-butene. Suppose if from this first carbon, if we remove the proton, then we will get the 1-butene. Okay, 1-butene is the minor product, whereas 2-butene is the major product. The reason is here, in this 2-butene, the double bond carbon, adjacent carbons are called as alpha carbons, and these protons are called as alpha protons. Now here 3 alpha protons are present, here 3 alpha protons are present, total 6 alpha protons are there. So here, because of hyperconjugation, total here 6 resonance structures are possible. Whereas here, this double bond carbon, left side, there is no attached protons. But here only one side, right side, only one alpha carbon is present, which is attached with the 2 protons. So here number of alpha protons are 2. That means here only 2 resonance structures are possible. So as we all know, as number of resonance structures are more, stability also more. So this formation of 2-butene is the major product, whereas formation of 1-butene is the minor product. This will be explained by the Sage-Jeffs rule. Okay, when there is a possibility of eliminating the 2 protons, okay, highly substituted olefin will be formed as major product. So okay, this question may come. They will ask, like any reactant, they will ask in the presence of alcoholic KOH, what is the expected product? Then here you have to apply the Sage-Jeffs rule. Then third preparation, that is dehalogenation. The preparation is dehalogenation. Here 1,2 dibromo compound in the presence of zinc metal. Then these 2 halogens will be eliminated. These 2 halogens will be eliminated because in the any elimination reaction, removing the 2 sigma bonds and formation of 1 new pi bond is called as elimination reaction. So here olefin will be formed. So these 3 are the preparation methods for the alkenes. One is from the alcohols, okay. Then second one is from dehydrohalogenation. Then third one is dehalogenation. These are the 3 preparation methods for the alkenes, okay. In these 3, dehydrohalogenation is very, very important because there we have to apply the Sage-Jeffs rule. Okay, then coming to the chemical properties of alkenes, all the alkenes which involves only in electrophilic addition reactions, they involves only in electrophilic addition reaction. What is electrophilic addition reaction? Because here one pi in the alkenes, pi bond is present. Pi bond is nothing but which is very loosely held. This bond is very loosely held and which is electron rich compound. Because of that reason, electrophile is going to first attack, then after electrophile, then nucleophile is going to attack here. Then such type of the reaction is called as electrophilic addition reaction. Okay, all the alkenes which involves only in electrophilic addition reaction. Electrophilic addition reaction means first electrophile is going to attack, in the next step nucleophile is going to attack. Then such type of the reactions are called as electrophilic addition reactions. See, many examples are there. See, this is the alkene. See, but whenever they ask some reagent, you should identify in that particular reagent what is electrophile, what is nucleophile. You should identify. Yes, then only you can apply this rule. See, in this particular reagent Hx, what is the electrophile here? H plus is the electrophile, whereas X minus is the nucleophile. So because here I have taken the symmetrical alkene, it is a symmetrical alkene. You can this electrophile can attack either this carbon or this carbon. Suppose if it is unsymmetrical alkene, then we have to apply the Markovnikov's rule. Yes. So here it is a symmetrical alkene. So we can apply electrophile. We can attack either this carbon or this carbon. Then this electrophile will attack at one carbon, and this nucleophile will attack at another carbon, then which produce the alkyl halides. Then another one is alkenes by reacting with the sulfuric acid. In the sulfuric acid, H plus is the electrophile, whereas HSO4 minus is the nucleophile. So this electrophile is going to attack one carbon, and this nucleophile is going to attack another carbon, then which produce the alkyl hydrogen sulfate. Then alkanes by reacting with the water. Yes, in this water, H plus is the electrophile, whereas OH minus is the nucleophile. Similarly, here also which produce the alcohols. See, from the alcohols, we have prepared the alkene. By what? By eliminating the reaction. Yes, now from the alkenes, we are preparing the alcohols. By what? By addition reaction. That means they both are reversible. See, by addition reaction, we are preparing the alcohols. From the alcohols, by elimination reaction, we can prepare the alkenes. Then what is here? Here the halogen. In this halogen, one is electrophile, another one is nucleophile. By adding this, which produce the 1,2 dihalo compound. So these are all the chemical properties of the alkenes. Suppose if any unsymmetrical alkene is present, if any unsymmetrical alkene, unsymmetrical is nothing but what? The double bond carbon, if it is having the different substituents, if it is having both sides different substituents, then this alkene is called as unsymmetrical alkene. Now, suppose if it is reacts with any reagent. Now, whether electrophile is going to attack either this carbon or this carbon, that can be explained by the Markovnikov's rule. That can be explained by the Markovnikov's rule. Then what is Markovnikov's rule? Markovnikov's rule is nothing but here the reactant is propene. The reactant is propene. And the reagent is HBr. The reagent is HBr. So in this HBr, the electrophile is H plus, whereas nucleophile is Br minus. Now, because all the alkanes which involves in only in electrophilic addition reaction, now this electrophile is going to attack a double bond carbon which is having the more hydrogens. According to the Markovnikov's rule, in that particular reagent, the electrophile is going to attack at the double bond carbon which is attached to the more hydrogen. Other words, we can say that in the reagent, the nucleophile which is going to attack the double bond carbon which is attached to the less number of hydrogens. Then if we attacks like this, then only which produce the stable product. Okay, this is called by Markovnikov's rule. Now, this is the propene. This is unsymmetrical alkene by reacting with the HBr. Okay, because according to the Markovnikov's rule, H, that is electrophile, which is going to attack the double bond carbon, which is having the more protons, whereas nucleophile, which is going to attack double bond carbon, which is having the less number of protons. Then we will get this product. Okay, what is this product name? 2-bromopropane. 2-bromopropane. So, okay, this product will be formed as major product. This product will be formed by major product. Why this rule is framed like this? We can explain by mechanism here. See here, this is the propene. This is the electrophile. H plus is the electrophile. Now, suppose if this electrophile, if it attacks to this double bond carbon, which is having the more number of protons, okay, more number of protons, then what will happen? Because it's electrophile. Then whenever electrophile is coming closer, then this pi bonded electron shifted here. then this electrophile will be attacked here. Then simultaneously this carbon will get the positive charge. Now this carbocation is the secondary carbocation. This is stable. Then in the next step, this nucleophile is going to attack at the second carbon, then which produce the 2-bromo or 2-halopropane. Suppose if electrophile which attacks the double bond carbon which is having the less number of hydrogens. Suppose if electrophile which if it is attacks here, then this carbon is going to get the positive charge. Now this carbon is the primary carbocation. It is a less stable. Because of that reason, then because here this is the secondary carbocation which is more stable, whereas here if electrophile which is attacks to the double bond carbon which is containing the less number of hydrogen, which is producing the primary carbocation which is less stable. Because of that reason, Markovnikov's rule said that he said that electrophile which is going to attack the double bond carbon which is having the more number of protons, whereas nucleophile which is going to attack the double bond carbon which is containing the less number of protons. Okay, this is called as Markovnikov's rule. See, from this question, from this Markovnikov's rule, definitely one question will come. So they may ask any unsymmetrical alkene. Here also they will ask any reagent, but you have to apply here Markovnikov's rule. See, immediately you have to, by seeing this reaction, you should write the product. See, this is the electrophile. Electrophile should attack here, whereas nucleophile should attack here. Then 2-bromopropane will be formed as major product, whereas 1-bromopropane will be formed as minor product. Okay. Then what is anti-Markovnikov's rule? Anti is nothing but it's completely opposite of the Markovnikov's rule. Okay, you remember this anti-Markovnikov's rule will be applied only in the presence of peroxide, only in the presence of any peroxide, either maybe hydrogen peroxide or maybe in the presence of any peracid. Peracid, what is peracid? Suppose acetic acid is there. What is that acetic acid formula? CH3CO2H is the formula, acetic acid. Peracid formula CH3CO3H. That means one oxygen extra here. If any compound, if one oxygen is extra, then such type of the compounds are called as peracids. So this anti-Markovnikov's rule will be applied only in the presence of peracids or in the presence of peroxides. This is completely opposite to the Markovnikov's rule. According to the Markovnikov's rule, electrophile is going to attack to the double bond carbon which is having the more number of hydrogen. Okay. Whereas according to the anti-Markovnikov's rule, electrophile is going to attack the double bond carbon which is having the less number of protons. Okay, it's completely opposite. It's completely opposite because anti-Markovnikov's rule, because this mechanism is going to takes place through the radical mechanism. So it's completely reversed to the Markovnikov's rule. Okay, this reaction will be applied only in the presence of peroxides. See, suppose if they did not mention any peroxides here, then here you have to apply the Markovnikov's rule. Based on the Markovnikov's rule, you have to write the products. Suppose if they mention here, reactant is this one, reagent is this one. Suppose if they mention here H2O2 or CH3CO3H or any peroxide or any peracid, if they mention here, then you have to write this product is the major product, this product is the minor product. Okay, that is the difference between Markovnikov's rule as well as anti-Markovnikov's rule. See, here I have taken one example here. So see, this is the reagent. Now we have, because it's an unsymmetrical alkene, it's a unsymmetrical alkene. Now to this unsymmetrical alkene, we have to apply the Markovnikov's rule. We have to apply the Markovnikov's rule. They may ask any one question. They will give this like this, any reactants, reagents, and they will ask the question mark. They will give the question mark. Then what is the expected product here? Then we have to apply the Markovnikov's rule. Then according to the Markovnikov's rule, nucleophile should attack to the double bond carbon which is having the less number of carbons. So because of that, this product will be formed. Okay, this is the substituent here. So 2-methyl, then 1, 2, 3. Total 3 carbons are there. So 2 propanol. OL is nothing but here. What is that? OH, hydroxy group IUPAC nomenclature is OL. So like that, we have to write the products. Then another property of alkenes are alkanes by reacting with the halogen, that is bromine, in the presence of carbon tetrachloride. Now, which is going to produce the 1,2 dibromoethane, 1,2 dibromoethane. But here the mechanism is here, which is here 2 halogens are going to attack at the opposite direction, not going to at the same direction. What is the reason here? Both the bromines are having the more lone pair of electrons, okay, and also bromine size also more. So when if both the halogens, if they're going to attack at the same direction, then lot of repulsions will be attacked. Hence, this reaction is going to attack. That means halogens are going to attack at the opposite direction. Opposite direction. See here. So this product will be formed. Suppose if it is symmetrical alkene, then we cannot differentiate whether it is the cis product or trans product. We cannot identify. But if it is unsymmetrical alkene, then you remember always the halogen is going to attack at the opposite direction. Generally, the mechanism is like this. Cyclic bromonium ion will be formed in the first step. Then the second step, this opposite direction. Already this bromine is present. Then opposite direction, that means this backside of this cyclic bromonium ion only, this group is going to attack. Then this product will be formed. Okay, this is addition of halogen. See, suppose if already, what is this here? It is the trans alkene. What is this? This is the trans alkene. To this trans alkene, by adding the bromine, you remember, no need to practice any mechanism, but the product is meso compound. Because here the alkene is trans alkene, and here halogen also going to attack at the opposite direction. It is a trans, and halogen is going to attack at the trans direction. Then the product is the meso product. Meso product means what? Superimposable mirror images. Superimposable mirror images. That means we can cut this compound into 2 equal halves. Then that compound is called as meso compound. Okay. Then another example. Suppose if cis-2-butene is present. If cis-2-butene is present, then here the halogen, by reacting with the halogen, because here it is a cis alkene, but here this halogen is going to attack at the anti-direction. It is going to attack at the anti-direction, is nothing but opposite direction. Then the products are racemic mixture. The products are racemic mixture. Okay. So you remember, if the alkene is trans alkene, always the halogen, whether it is a cis alkene or trans alkene, halogen is always going to attack at the opposite direction. That means anti-direction. So if it is a trans alkene, by adding the halogen, which produce the meso product. Suppose if the alkene is cis alkene, then we are going to get the racemic mixture. Okay, racemic mixture means what? Enantiomers. Mixture of enantiomers. That means this product will form equal percentage, and another product also will form equal percentage. That is called as racemic mixture. This is about the addition of halogen to the alkene. Next one is oxidation of alkenes. Here all these alkenes, by reacting with any oxidizing agent like a KMnO4, osmium tetroxide. So by reacting with the oxidizing agents, so we are getting diols. Diols is nothing but at 1, 2 position, 2 H groups are attacked. So this compound is called as diol, or we can say that this compound is called as glycol. Okay, so alkenes by reacting with the oxidizing agent like a KMnO4 or osmium tetroxide, which is going to produce the diol. Okay, this is the mechanism. But here, this one is no need to practice. You have to, any reaction here, you have to remember this reactant, reagent, then what is the product here. To remember that stable intermediate. Suppose if any reaction, if it is having any name reaction, that name reaction also you have to remember. See, wherever, see, suppose if it is the cyclohexene by reacting with the KMnO4, then what is the expected product? Wherever the double bond is present, the double bond you have to remove, then attack the 2 OH groups. See, cis-diol. That means here 2 OH groups are attacks at the same direction here. That means here a cis addition takes place. Whereas halogen, which takes place trans addition, whereas these OH groups which are attacks as a cis addition. So here alkenes by reacting with any oxidizing agent which producing the cis-diol, or we can say that syn-diol. This one also same, osmium tetroxide. See, it is also cis addition takes place, then which producing the cis-diol. That means 2 OH groups are lied in the same direction. That is called as cis-diol. This alkenes, see, alkenes by reacting with the KMnO4 and osmium tetroxide, which producing the cis-diol. Suppose alkenes by reacting with the any peracid, alkene by reacting with the any peracid, then which produce the trans-diol, You remember KMnO4, osmium tetroxide, in that both the reactions, cis addition takes place. That means 2 OH groups are attacked at the same side of the double bond. So cis-diol will be formed. Whereas in the if any peracid is present, see, this is a peracid structure. What is this? C double bond O, OH is present, then that is called acid. But here one extra oxygen is present, then that is called as peracid. See, this is the carboxylic acid structure. Yes. See, here one extra oxygen is present, that is called as peracid. So in the presence of peracid, anti-addition takes place. Then which gives the trans-diol, Okay, need not to prepare the mechanism, but this mechanism will be takes place by this this epoxide mechanism. This is called as epoxide. This is the 3-member cyclic ring, and here one oxygen is present as part of the cyclic ring. This is called as epoxide. In the presence of peroxide, the reaction takes place through the epoxide, then which produce the trans-diol, The next reaction, ozonolysis of alkanes. So this question also may come. What is ozonolysis? See, this is a simple trick here. Alkanes by reacting with the ozone, which produce the carbonyl compounds, whether it may be the formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acetone, any carbonyl compound. But how do we remember these products? See, wherever the double bond is present, simply the double bond we have to break. And one oxygen we have to insert here, another oxygen also we have to insert. Then we have to write the products here. See here, this is the alkene by reacting with the ozone. By reacting with the ozone is nothing but O3. Then we have to break this double bond. Then we have to insert one oxygen to this double bond carbon and another oxygen to this double bond carbon, then which produce the carbonyl compounds. This is the ozonolysis reaction. See, whether it may be the H or maybe any alkyl or maybe the methyl, ethyl, any groups. But how do we write the products by ozonolysis? Wherever the double bond is present, that double bond simply we have to break, and to this carbon we have to insert one oxygen, And to this double bond carbon, we have to write another oxygen. See, like that, we have to write the products here. Okay, this is about the ozonolysis reaction. If you take any example here, like this. So, see here, it is another alkene. It is the butene, one butene, but here in this butene, here the double bond is present. Yes. So here, this carbon, which is having the 2 protons, now here we need to break in between, and here, which will get the formaldehyde, then another one which will get the propanaldehyde. Like this, wherever double bond is present, the double bond is completely going to break, then we will get the carbonyl compounds. That is the ozonolysis reaction. Actually, this is the mechanism, but here no need. Then hydroboration reaction. Alkanes, hydroboration, by reacting with the hydroboration, see, next one is hydroboration reaction. Here, alkenes, by reacting with the borane, that is BH3. See, in this borane, H minus is the nucleophile, whereas BH2 plus is the electrophile. See, in this BH3, H minus is the nucleophile and BH2 plus is the electrophile. Now, as we are now, according to the Marconi-Karp rule, H minus, that is the nucleophile, that should attack to the double bond carbon, which is having less number of hydrogens, and this electrophile should attack here. Yes. So like this, He will be attacked here and BH2 will be attacked here. But here all the hydrogens will be replaced by the this reactant, then finally which producing the tripropyl borane. Then after that, by reacting with the hydrogen peroxide OH minus, wherever boron is present, that boron is going to eliminate and produce attack here OH group. See, if you observe here in this hydroboration reaction, which here BH3 by first which will react with the BH3, then by reacting with the hydrogen peroxide, which is producing the product as according to the anti-Marconi-Karp rule. Anti-Marconi-Karp rule. See, for example, if you take the propene, only simply if you give the only water, then that water is going to attack at the Marconi-Karp rule. But here, what is there? Here it is a peroxide, so which is going to attack according to the anti-Marconi-Karp rule. That means this product is gives as anti-Marconi-Karp rule. That means nucleophile is going to attack here the carbon, which is a double bond carbon, which is having the more number of hydrogens. So remember here, hydroboration, the product is going to form according to the anti-Marconi-Karp rule. Okay, this is about the hydroboration reaction. See here. See, they will give the question like this: any alkene by reacting with the borane and in the presence of and another reagent is hydrogen peroxide. Then you have to write the able to write the product. See, according to the hydroboration is nothing but we have to write the product according to the anti-Marconi-Karp rule. So this OH group will be attacked at this double bond carbon, which is having the more number of hydrogens. Okay, this is the product is hexanol. Okay, so this hydroboration which takes place according to the anti-Marconi-Karp rule. This is the mechanism, no need. This is about complete alkenes. Next, very simple topic, continuation of this topic, that is the dienes. What is a diene? Diene is nothing but actually which may be the cumulated diene. That means cumulated is nothing but having the continuous double bonds. Having the continuous double bonds are called as cumulated diene. Di is nothing but 2. Ene is nothing but double bonds. That means any compound which is having the 2 double bonds are called as dienes. Okay, this is called as cumulated diene. Whereas this compound 1, 3 butadiene. See, this is the first carbon, 1 double bond is present, 2 and 3. At third carbon, 1 double bond is present. This compound is called as 1, 3 butadiene. This compound is called as conjugated diene. This compound is called as conjugated diene. That means this involves in a resonance. This involves in a resonance like this. Because one pi bond, one sigma bond, one pi bond is nothing but which involves in a resonance, which involves in a conjugation. Yes. So this structure is called as conjugated diene. This one is called as isolated diene because here double bond carbons are separated by one sp3 carbon, hence this compound is called as isolated diene. This compound is called as isolated diene. These are all the dienes only. Cumulated diene is nothing but having the continuous double bonds. Conjugated diene is nothing but separated by only one sigma bond. These compounds involves in a resonance. Such type of the compounds are called as conjugated diene, whereas isolated diene is nothing but they are separated by one sp3 carbon are called as isolated double bond, isolated dienes. Okay, these are cumulated, conjugated diene and isolated diene. These dienes which involves in two types of addition reactions. Okay, these dienes which involves in two types of addition reaction. One is 1,4 addition reaction. Then another one is 1,2 addition reaction. Because here two double bonds are present here. So 1,2 addition is nothing but reagent is going to attack at this position only. That is called as 1,2 addition. Whereas what is 1,4? In that reagent, one group is going to attack at this position. Then the another group is going to attack at this position. That is called as 1,4 addition reaction. So, but here at room temperature, 1,2 product is going to formed as major product. At higher temperature, 1,4 product is going to form as major product. Okay. At room temperature, 1,2 addition product is going to form as major, whereas at higher temperature, 1,4 substituted product is going to form as major product. Okay. See, let us see here with this is the butadiene by reacting with the HBr. So which is also follows according to the Markovnikov's rule. So electrophile is going to attack at here double more number of hydrogen. Okay. Then the nucleophile is going to attack here. Then this product will form. This is the 1,2 addition reaction. Generally, this 1,2 addition will be takes place very fast. So at room temperature, this product will be formed at major. Whereas 1,4 addition, which takes more time because here once electrophile will be attacked at this carbon, then here positive charge is generated. Then after that, because this double bond and this positive charge both are in resonance, conjugation, both are in conjugation. So this double bond electrons will use to this carbon. Then this carbon, last carbon, which will get the positive charge. Okay, now to this carbon, this nucleophile is going to attack. So which takes 1,4 addition, which takes a lot of time because here the resonance need to occur. Then after that, to this primary carbocation, now this nucleophile is going to attack, then which produce the 1,4 product. Okay, 1,4 addition product. So you remember at room temperature, 1,2 addition product will be formed as major. Okay, because which occur very fast. This reaction will be occur very fast. Whereas at higher temperature, like 40 degrees, whereas at higher temperature, 1,4 addition product will be formed as major product. Because as compared to 1,2 addition product, 1,4 addition product is more stable because it is a highly substituted olefin, whereas it is a less substituted olefin. Okay, 1,4 addition product is major because it is highly stable. But to form this product, which takes the more time, Okay, this is about the dienes. Then the last reaction in this diene. See, any reactant here they have given. See, if it is given the 193 kelvins, that means at room temperature, then 1,2 product will be formed. 1,2 addition product is the major. Suppose if they given higher temperature, then you have to write 1,4 addition product is the major. You remember this one. At room temperature, 1,2 addition product will be major. At higher temperature, 1,4 addition product is the major. Okay. Then last reaction, very, very important, that is the Diels-Alder reaction. So what is Diels-Alder reaction? In the Diels-Alder reaction, diene, why this is the diene? Because this compound is having the 2 double bonds. So it is the diene. And what is dienophile? Dienophile is nothing but any double bond carbon. If it is having any electron withdrawing groups, if it is having any electron withdrawing groups like carbonyl groups, aldehydes, esters, cyanides, nitro, if it is attached with any electron withdrawing group, then that compound is called as dienophile. So now this is the dienophile, this is the diene. Both are involved in a 4+2 addition. What is 4 here? Here 2 pi bonds are present. So here it is a 4, and here 1 pi bond is present. Here 2 electrons are present. Here total 4 electrons are present. So both are involved in a 4+2 addition reaction. Then which at room temperature, here to occur the Diels-Alder reaction, there is no need of any solvent, there is no need of any reagent. So at a particular temperature, they automatically, both diene and dienophile both involves in a cyclic addition reaction. What is cyclic addition? See here, for example, here if you take this pi bonded electron shifted here, then this pi bonded electron shifted here, then this pi bonded electron shifted here. That means here 4+2 addition reaction will be takes place, then which produce the cyclohexene. This cyclohexene is called as adduct. This cyclohexene is called as adduct. This reaction is called as Diels-Alder reaction. This reaction is called as Diels-Alder reaction. Okay. Any examples you can take for the Diels-Alder reaction, but the reactants are, one is diene, another one is dienophile. One is diene, then another one is dienophile. Both involves only 4+2. Here the 4 electrons are present. Here 2 pi electrons are present. So both involves in 4+2 cyclic addition reaction, then which produce the cyclic adduct. So this is called as Diels-Alder reaction. See, this is the diene, this is the dienophile. See, this group won't involve. Only this double bond electrons only involves, because here 4 pi electrons and here the 2 pi electrons involves in the cyclic addition, then which produce this product. This is about the Diels-Alder reaction. This is about complete alkenes and dienes. Okay. So if you have any doubts regarding my topics, you can post in the groups. హలో
మేడం చెప్పండి.
సార్ టాపిక్ అయిపోయింది సార్, క్లోజ్
అయిపోయిందా మేడం? ఓకే, క్లోజ్ చేద్దామా?
ఓకే సార్.